Part 1, Chapter 3, How to Use This Book. Woody Allen once famously quipped, "I took a speed reading course and read War and Peace in 20 minutes. Wow, someone asked. What was it about? It's about Russia, he replied. Now, this clever joke captures the idea that attempting to learn or absorb something superficially without the necessary time, effort, depth, often leads to oversimplified or shallow results. It's a playful reminder that some things cannot be rushed if we want to understand or master them truly. Given the same scenario, you might say, what is Quit Your Diet, Think to Shrink about? The answer, it's about weight loss. It's about much more than that. To truly understand it, you'll need to read, reflect, and later be willing to try and work with some mental exercises that may feel counterintuitive. This book and course are designed as a step-by-step guide to help you break free from dieting for good. It's not about restriction, guilt, or willpower. It's about understanding how your mind works and using that knowledge to create lasting change. The journey is divided into 3 distinct parts, each carefully designed to shift your mindset, empower your choices, and put you in control. Part 1, the diet mentality. Before you can move forward, you need to break free from the patterns that have kept you stuck. In this first section, we'll critically examine the multi-billion-dollar diet industry, an industry that often with the best intentions traps people in a cycle of hope, failure, and frustration. We'll explore a change model that reveals an ironic truth. All diets work, and all diets don't. The reason most traditional weight loss interventions fail isn't because people lack willpower. It's because they are operating at the wrong level of change. Diets, government health advice, and slimming clubs focus on what you eat, but the real issue lies beneath that. By the end of part 1, you'll have a new way of thinking about weight loss. You'll clearly understand what not to do, and more importantly, you'll be ready to discover what to do instead in parts 2 and 3. Part 2, Understanding Your Mind. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it can also be your biggest obstacle. In part 2, we'll uncover the psychology of change and the mental traps that have quietly shaped your decisions for years. These patterns aren't flaws or failures. They are habits your brain has learned over time. The key is awareness. When you recognize how your mind operates, you can stop being a passenger in your own life and take the wheel. Imagine making choices that genuinely serve you without guilt, without struggle, without feeling like you're constantly at war with yourself. This part of the book is about empowering you with insights and strategies to turn your mind into your strongest ally. Part 3, D-Day, your toolkit for change. This is where it all comes together. In the final section, we take action. No more theory. This is where you start rewiring your mind for success and get ready for D-Day. You'll learn how to rewrite the stories you tell yourself so that failure, guilt, and frustration no longer hold power over you. Break unwanted habits and replace them with new, automatic ones without needing willpower. Use tools and techniques that have already helped millions so you can quit dieting for good. We'll build towards D-Day, Diet Day, the day you walk away from dieting forever. But this isn't just about quitting diets. It's about defining success on your terms. For you, success might mean feeling more assertive and more in control of your body, having more energy and mental clarity, finally escaping the constant stress of food rules and body image struggles. Whatever your personal vision of success, this final section will give you the roadmap and tools to achieve it. Along the way, I will invite you to register or visit me at www.actionfactorypublishing.com, where I will provide updated resources as they become available. Here's an anonymous poem I found called The Robot. I have a little robot that goes around with me. I tell it what I'm thinking. I tell it what I see. I tell my little robot all my hopes and fears. It listens and remembers everything it hears. At first, my little robot followed my commands, but after years of training, it's gotten out of hand. It doesn't care what's right or wrong or what is false or true. No matter what I try now, it tells me what to do. Author unknown. In this book, we will work to regain control of our little robot, and for some, learn that we have one in the first place, making assumptions about you. As we progress through this book, I'll make some assumptions about you, just as I do with all my clients. I don't know you personally, but that doesn't matter. I learned long ago that our assumptions about someone powerfully shape how we interact with them. The word assumption doesn't imply truth. It simply asks us to act as if something is true. In my experience, progress happens faster and more effectively when I work with people based on the correct assumptions. So while these assumptions may not be perfect, please consider them not as judgments, but as starting points for real change. There's a story I often share in my training that illustrates the power of assumptions. Imagine this. A young man runs a red light and is spotted by the police. When pulled over, he quickly explains, "I'm so sorry, officer. I was rushing home because my mum was due back any minute. My dad was a war veteran who passed away a few years ago, and every year I buy her a birthday present from him. I left it on the table and wanted to be home before she arrived." Now pause for a moment. What are your assumptions about this young man? His character, his home, his circumstances. Now let's change one detail. Same young man, same situation. But this time he says, "I'm so sorry, officer. I was rushing home because my mum is due back any minute, and I left a huge bag of weed on the table." Has your perception of him changed? This simple shift highlights how easily our assumptions shape our judgments and interactions, often without realizing it. Let's go further. I want you to make these assumptions about yourself. Truth doesn't come into it. We commit to behaving and thinking as if these statements were factual about ourselves. In the same way as all my other clients, you will speak to yourself differently. Our assumptions shape how we see the world and act within it. Even if they are not true, we behave as if they are, and our minds filter out anything that challenges them. Think of it like this. If you believe all men are untrustworthy, you will find daily proof to back it up while ignoring evidence to the contrary. Assumptions work both ways, so why not make them serve us? Below are some foundational assumptions to guide our approach. Whether they are objectively true does not matter. They work when we stick to them. As you read through these assumptions, you may find them counterintuitive, but I will ask you to believe these assumptions about yourself. Number one, the map is not the territory. Your mind does not see reality. It sees your version of it. We all carry mental maps based on our experiences, and no two maps are alike. Imagine two hikers on a road, and one says, "Let's cross here." The other insists it's a river and heads for a bridge. Both believe they are right because their internal maps tell them so. Therapists do not redraw someone's map for them. They walk alongside, helping the person see things differently. Sometimes the bridge is the safest route. even if the map says otherwise. Number 2, you are the expert of your own life. No one knows your life better than you. Therapists, friends and family can offer advice, but they are guessing based on their maps, not yours. A great therapist does not hand out solutions. They ask the right questions to help you uncover your answers. Advice from others may be well-meaning, but real change comes from within. Number 3, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. It is simple. Keep doing the same thing and you will keep getting the same results. Want something different? You have to change what you are doing. Are you dreaming of a better job, a healthier body, or a new lifestyle? Start by breaking old patterns. If life is already perfect, by all means, stick with what works. Otherwise, mix it up. Number 4, there is no failure, only lessons. Things will not always go your way, but that does not mean you've failed. It means you have learnt something. Every setback is a chance to adjust your approach. Think of a salesperson. Each rejection teaches them how to refine their pitch. The same goes for life. Failure is not the end, it is part of the process. If what you're doing isn't working, try something else. Feeling stuck? If your current approach is not making you happy, switch it up. Anything new is better than repeating what is not working. Number 5, today's problem was yesterday's solution. Most problems started as solutions. Debt solved stress temporarily through retail therapy. Overeating might have soothed a tough day. Understanding what it was that your current problem once solved can help you move forward and avoid creating a new one to replace it. Number 6, there's a positive intention behind every behaviour. Even the worst actions stem from someone's best option at the moment. Whether it's anger, avoidance, or even something extreme, people act based on what feels like the right choice at that time. Recognizing this does not excuse harm, but it helps us understand it, and that understanding can lead to change. Number 7, you can pretend you can. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between imagination and reality. Use that to your advantage. Smile when you are down and your mood will follow. Pretend you are already fitter, more competent and more confident, and your brain will start aligning your actions with that image. Play the part and soon you will live it. These assumptions are not just ideas, they are tools. Use them to navigate challenges, shift your mindset and create real change. So there we have it. We are ready to begin a fascinating journey. To get the most from this book and its ideas, be willing to try what is new, different, and sometimes counterintuitive. Visit actionfactorypublishing.com to download a handy reminder to put in a diary or pin on the wall. The most effective way to approach this book and course is to read through everything before taking action. This will allow you to absorb the concepts and fully prepare for real change. At the end of the book, you'll find my 14-day planning template. This is also available in the attached PDF with the audiobook. It's a step-by-step guide designed to help you transition smoothly into the final stages. By following it, you'll be ready to take a mighty leap forward, equipped with the mindset and tools to break free from dieting for good.